As the Swedes had expanded into Finland, they had sought to expand down into Livonia. It was Livonia that they began to border the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, one of the biggest empires of all of Eastern Europe. Since the year 1600, the Swedes and Poles had been fighting over Livonia. The two had been allies and formed the Polish-Swedish Union to fight against Protestant Swedish separatists. But the separatists won the war against Sigismund and took over Sweden, making Sweden primarily Protestant. The First War erupted in 1600, right after the war, and would be the first war where the Swedes and the Poles faced off. The two rushed to claim Livonia, but 11 years into the conflict, the two made a truce. But that truce wouldn't last for long, as the two would square off again in 1617, 6 years later. The Swedes hadn't forgotten the failure to take Livonia, so they decided to do their rivals, the Russians, a favor. As Russo-Polish relations began to sour, the Swedes had decided to take its advantage of the situation to invade Poland using the Lithuanian border as a cause for war. The two fought a year until peace was made in 1618, and yet another truce was signed in place. In 1621, the Swedes invaded Livonia. As the Poles could not withstand the Swedes as they were currently at war with the Ottomans, they gave Livonia to Sweden in 1622. But with the peace made, Gustav of Sweden began talks with Russia and the Ottoman Empire to make a surprise attack on Poland. The Poles were completely outnumbered and surrendered in humiliation to Sweden. However, the wars didn't end from there. The Swedes then started another attack in 1626. They seized East Prussia and Livonia and began to enter Poland and captured Warsaw, burning it to the ground. However, the Poles managed to retake Warsaw in 1629, and it would be that year when the Truce of Altmark was signed. Polish-Swedish wars were officially over. However, the rivalry still emerges as Poland plays a major role in the Second Northern War.